Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. I don't usually make videos like this. It's kind of more of a news-oriented video, but I've noticed it all around. There seem to be a number of, I hate using the term conspiracy theories, but there seem to be a number of rather outlandish speculations out there about the remodel of the present U.S. Consulate in Chiang Mai. And let me be clear, I'm not overly familiar with exactly what's going on up there, but this does happen periodically. I remember it's going on 12, probably 13 years ago, the consular section of the U.S. Embassy down here in Bangkok was being remodeled. And I even remember you used to walk, there's sort of this water, it's kind of a little, I don't know what you'd call it. It's not a koi pond, but it's kind of a little water area. You know, it's got a fountain and there's water and it's like a little pond. I remember you actually had to walk over that when I first came here years ago, and I would deal with U.S. immigration cases at the consular section over there. You actually came in sort of from the back from where you come in now, and you walked over this little pond in order to get to the actual consulate. It wasn't optimal. They were doing a remodel, and then they did a remodel again shortly thereafter. And for those who are unaware, and I'll get into this in a little bit further detail, but you know, budget issues make up a major reason why these things occur the way that they do. But yeah, regarding the speculation, there seems to be a lot of speculation out there that there's something nefarious or covert going on in the remodeling of the U.S. consulate up in Chiang Mai. And to be clear, it's my understanding that that consulate, you know, they're using a building, I believe it's an old teak building. It's old. I mean, and it's relatively small compared to the needs of the region. And the thing that really, and it certainly sets off kind of red flags in my head, the main concern about this remodel is that the budget appears to be around about $250 million US, around $250 million US to do this remodel. Well, that sounds like a lot, and it's certainly a lot. I'd love to have $250 million. I'll tell you, I often wonder if I'd be doing videos right now if I had $250 million. But in Uncle Sammy money, in Uncle Sam kind of accounting, I don't even know if $250 million is a rounding error these days when it comes to the U.S. federal government and what they spend and how they spend it. Also, the thing you have to keep in mind, again, these budget issues, when you're budgeting for something and you're a federal agency, for example, a U.S. State Department, and you can get Congress to sort of open up their wallet, you get everything you can, you know, and you're looking to front load money that you're going to be using on stuff that'll have 10-year, 20-year implications, and not in any kind of, you know, super spy 007 kind of stuff. We're just talking about, hey, if we need coffee cups for the next 5 years, what's that going to cost? Shove that into the budget, you know. And I'm being a little bit facetious here, but you got to keep that in mind. I think there's a lot of speculation swirling that's really kind of unfounded. Yeah, it seems like a ton of money. And the other thing you got to keep in mind is State Department builds things at their specifications. It has to be vetted through all sorts of security protocols in order to maintain, you know, the integrity of the chancery compound. A chancery is actually the physical structure of an embassy or consulate. They have to be sure that there's a lot of bureaucracy that goes into this. You have to use certain contractors who, quite frankly, charge a certain amount of money. My opinion is sort of fiscal conservative. I think they probably charge way too much money, but that's a political issue, not really pertinent to this. Again, $250 million sounds like a ton of money to build a consulate. If you're looking at a consulate like, oh, you know, you can just have a couple people in a house doing visas. Well, that's not what the U.S. Consulate in Chiang Mai is doing. They're providing regional services, and also in a lot of different ways, and they're also connected to the embassy. But they have a fair number of people too to house. I mean, when the American government sends folks abroad, they send, you know, pretty sizable delegation. The long story short of this video, I can't say I know for sure everything that's going on up there. And at first glance, I said, wow, $250 million, that's a lot of money. until you think about it in the context of the U.S. federal government, and I mean, the paper bills of the federal government are probably in the billions somewhere. So $250 million, it's a lot. It's real money. There's no doubt about it. But in terms of the federal budget, it's basically the cost of maintaining what I would probably call a standard consulate for the United States of America.